Hi, Firestarter here, and welcome to my review of the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Den-o sword form. And we have here a nice cool looking box. If you are familiar with Kamen Rider Den-o Climax form, it's basically the same, but it has a red ring instead of rainbow colors. And we have here Kamen Rider Den-o, and we have a letter T here, just like his belt. And we have the Kamen Rider logo here on the top, and the name Mask Rider Den-o sword form in hot foil, Toei Bandai Tamashii Nations, and so on and so forth. And we have a nice looking window here. These are railroad tracks with the name sword form here. Just checking out the other sides here, and at the back we have nice poses for Kamen Rider Den-o, and he also comes with an effects part, which is like this, the Hisatsu attack. And without further ado, let's check out Kamen Rider Den-o sword form. Kamen Rider Den-o has three pairs of hands. We have the holding hand, the open relaxed hand, and also we have a hand that holds the rider pass, and of course the thumbs up for his Ore Sanjo. Also included are Den-gasher pieces for his belt, the Den-gasher itself, the sword without a blade, and of course the ever-plain rider pass. What you will be interested in is the effects part that came with Kamen Rider Den-o. These are molded in translucent plastic and soft rubbery mold. To assemble these parts on the Den-gasher is not rocket science, but I will show you how. To assemble the Den-gasher with the effects part, first get the spike ball as your base for the Hisatsu attack. If you are too stubborn to check out the instructions, here are some tips to find out if you are doing it correctly. There are indicators on the ball which has 1, 2, and 3 dots on the base, and that is also indicated on the electric spikes. The pegs are molded in a way so that each are fitted perfectly and you won't get lost in pegging those on the elongated blade. And then the ends are plugged on near the blade, and now you have an elongated Den-gasher. Replacing the Den-gasher pieces on the Kamen Rider belt is easy to do as well. It is just as simple as taking those out and plugging it in. You may want to tilt on an angle so that it allows the legs to move freely without scratching the paint applications on the hips. Do take note that this is more loose than the default ones. So after 3 years of waiting, we have here Kamen Rider Den-o. 3 years meaning I've been waiting for this mold for so long, because we have all the extra people on the series and on the movies, but we never actually had a Den-o sword form. So let's go through the articulation points. We have a nice neck and head articulation. They are both on ball joints. We have a flipping action on the shoulder pads. There's also shoulder pads also here, but they are latched in on the shoulders. And we have a double jointed elbow. We have a swivel over here and also on the hand, so that's nice. Upper torso and waist joint. The belt is quite loose on the waist so that it won't hinder too much on the waist articulation. We have hip joints and swivels, also double joints here. And again, there's a new engineering for the ankle so that it tilts on one side and you can still move that up and down. And there's also a toe joint, but you know, this is a new feature on the upcoming SH Figuarts figures, so it is something that you need to get used to in the long run. We have here tracks here because he's fashioned from a train, and we still have the design here at the back, so that's cool. And I also latch in the Den-gasher pieces, but these are slightly loose. We have a nice mold on the Den-o belt here. This is, I think, on top is a translucent plastic, and then you can see what's inside, so that's neat. And also compoundized, so whenever you try to move him around, try to avoid these antennas because it could break. One peculiar thing that I noticed is that this is on a glossy finish, while the rest of the black paint here are on matte. So I'm not so sure why this one is painted and glossy finish, and then that's the only thing I see. Not even on the shoulder pads here, they are slightly glossy, but this has a more wet finish than the shoulder pads here. So we have a really great range of motion for Kamen Rider Den-o, as you can see here, and he is really worth the wait, since Kamen Rider Den-o is one of the most popular Kamen Riders in the Heisei era. So I think he is really good. There's also one thing that you need to note about is the changing of the hands. I've done this many times before by just taking out the hand here, but it's not as easy as, like for example, Kamen Rider Forze or other riders before him that were released in SH Figuarts. So I suggest to try to place your fingers between the joint and then try to twist and turn before you take it out. Don't force to take the hand out until you get a real good feel on how to exchange those hands. That's another sort of warning to you guys on how to do it. And I'm just bringing back here the FX part, which is really cool and really nice. I'm not so sure if I've done it correctly. I just read the instructions, but I think this is it. This is how it is formed, and it becomes top heavy for Kamen Rider Den-o. So I know one of the clips here on the review lets Kamen Rider Den-o hold the sword without a Tamashii stand, but in different dynamic poses I recommend a Tamashii stand, especially if you want to use this sword with the FX part in for your what have yous, if you want to display him in such a way that he's doing the Hitatsu attack. Despite the lot of releases for this toy line, and for this series alone, Bandai has made an effort to perfect sword form for those fans who've been clamoring this figure for so long. Although sword form has the same articulation as climax form, it is the exact mold and the effects part that takes it away for any SH Figuarts fans and Kamen Rider Den-o fans alike. If I were you, if you are saving for your first SH Figuarts for this year, I would definitely recommend Kamen Rider Den-o's sword form. So if you want to know the possibilities for this figure, do check out the photos at the end of the video, and also do subscribe to my blogspot for the full written review. This is Firestarter. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on my next review. Ore Sanjo!